Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode of Sadie Has No Friends. Be sure to subscribe and follow. It's kind of everywhere. I try to get it across all the platforms, and we're kind of shaking things up a little bit. And I'm so excited for this because I am here with my friend Kelly, and Kelly actually does a podcast as well. And it's all about murder. And do you want to tell us a little about murder?
Oh, I
Do you want
love
to tell us about
murder.
murder?
Okay, I don't love murder.
This
I
is
love
totally
the
your
stories,
thing.
just a little. Yeah, so did you want me to start in with this story? Are you ready?
Well, just
You want me to tell you
tell
about my
tell
podcast a little
yeah,
what we do?
just throw it out
Okay.
there.
So my podcast is ODFM. It's 1D for murder, and the D changes with each and every episode.
How did you
So,
come up with that?
oh
And
God,
how do you come up with D words? And is it one dick away from, is that what it stands
we
for?
do have
One.
one. Yeah, one dick from murder. We do have that. We began as 1 degree from murder, and this big podcast
Oh.
came after us
Oh.
thinking that we were stealing their name. They weren't called 1 degree from murder, but they had one of those words in their name, the D word. And so they were about to get a deal with Oxygen Network or something, and they were really worried that they would get them confused with us. So, and they were a little trolly about it. They sent all their trolls out after us, and it was very brutal, like saying they'd have people come to our houses and stuff. The hosts
What?
didn't, but their fans did. It was like ridiculous. And we had just started. We had maybe 2 episodes. So it's not like we were
Did you just
on
want
their
to throw
level.
in the towel? Did you
Oh,
after
it was
2
so
episodes?
close. It really made me realize how bad online bullying could be, especially for teens. I was like, God, if I wasn't an adult, this would be
And, like, over a
heartbreaking.
podcast. I mean, that's
Yeah,
what's
it
really
was
weird too.
stupid. Everybody has a podcast. Why are you so worried about our podcast? So anyway,
Exactly.
that
Yeah.
is why we changed it. So now it's and actually we love it. We find the D words. Sometimes it'll be a name of somebody that's in the story. Sometimes, it always has something to do with the story. But yeah, one dick is one of my favorite ones. So you might have to listen to that one.
This is amazing. So it's Murder Mondays with ODFM. And this is so nice because I just get to sit back and you tell me a crazy murder story. And I tell Kelly, I don't want to hear about it before. I just want to go along with it and try to figure it out in my mind and what's going
And
on. But go ahead.
comment on it. Yes, you
And can
get
I
to put
tell
the
you,
commentary. What?
I recently listened to an episode. It was a 2-part episode on Ed Gein.
Ugh.
And that
Yeah.
was so good, Kelly.
He creeps me the F out. Ugh. Yeah.
That was so good. So if
Cool.
you should definitely follow her podcast because if you like murder stuff, this is just perfect. So anyway, without
Yay.
further
All
ado,
right.
what do you got?
Okay, so of course I'm bringing you one that's true crime, not necessarily murder, but it's almost worse. So we'll see what
Okay.
you think. And you might
It's
have heard
true
this because
crime. Does no
true
one
crime.
get murdered?
Someone dies, but wait
Someone
until you hear
dies?
what happens. Yes, I think it's almost worse than murder.
Oh shit. Murders
Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
thought was the worst. Okay, go ahead.
It's bad. So you might have heard about this because it's pretty famous, but we're gonna go back in history. I love the historical ones because people are so fucking weird I don't know if it's just people were weirder or you didn't hear about it so much as back then, but these people are wacky. So this happened in the late 1800s. This guy started anyway. This person we're going to talk about. His name is Carl. Carl Tanzler. He's born in Germany, and his early years of his life are a little mysterious, but he claims that since he was a little kid, he had visions of this beautiful dark-haired woman, and he came to believe that he was destined to find her someday and that she was going to be the love of his life.
Yeah.
So Carl's pretty intelligent. He's a smart guy, but he's odd. So he's known about embellishing his life stories, embellishing
Oh,
every
he's
part of
like a
his life.
liar. Okay,
He's
go
the
ahead.
yeah, yeah, that's probably a better way to put it. He's a fucking liar. Yeah. So like one of these things, which is a pretty big
Carl.
lie, Carl. One of these was that he claimed to have studied medicine. So he's claiming he's a medical person.
That's a big
Yeah.
lie.
That's kind
Okay.
of a big ass one. You can kill people.
Yeah.
Engineering, he said he was an engineer, and even weather forecasting, because who doesn't wanna get into that, especially 1800s? I don't know.
So he told people
He
all
tells
of these
yeah,
lies.
"I'm
Okay.
amazing. I can do all these things." So he did go to some universities in Germany and throughout Europe, but there's no real concrete evidence that he actually got any training in any of these things. He just claimed it. And back then, how do you it's not like you can get an email, be like, "Hey, yeah, Carl visited our university." No, it's the
It's
1800s.
true, it's a different time, you wouldn't question it, right?
Right, you don't go
Yeah.
back there. He lived kind of a nomadic life, which starts to make you a little kooky. He's traveling around Europe, spent some time as a recluse in Australia before World War One broke out. And during that time, he focused a lot of his days on trying to create inventions. And he may have kind of dabbled in medicine. I think he kind of thought himself like a medicine man in a way.
Like a gypsy medicine man, kind of? Like a traveling
I
show
think
medicine
so.
man? I'm
Yeah,
just
like
only going off of, like, movie references that
totally.
I've seen.
That's what I think too, like the covered wagon with the snake
Yeah, like
oil.
selling
Yeah.
the tonic that'll make your hair grow and give
Yep.
you a boner. Yeah.
Pretty pretty sure that's Carl. So, yeah, most of his education sounds like it's pretty much self-taught, but he claims he's good at everything. So, when World War One breaks out, he's since he's German, he's placed in an internment camp in Australia. I
Oh,
didn't realize they did
no.
that.
Oh.
Yeah. So
What?
that's gotta
He's
fuck with your
German?
mind.
Okay, I thought
Yeah.
they were okay.
Yeah, I had no idea they did that, but in 1926, he's like, "I'm going to the US. I'm gonna be free." So he goes to Florida. Florida is a giver in murder stories, I must say. So,
Yeah, Florida's
yeah,
weird.
Florida's got a lot of weirdos, I'm sorry, but, they give great information, but his sister and mom had already come to Florida, so they were living there, and he found work in Key West as a radiology technician because he's medical. I don't think I'd want to
He
have this guy.
started a job, like, it's one thing to
Yeah,
tell people you're a
yep,
doctor,
and
but
he's
to
like,
actually
"Sure."
go to a 9 to 5 and pretend like you know what you're doing?
And in radiology of all things, X-rays, he's like, "Stand there for 10 minutes. Yes, let's
Yeah.
turn
Let's
around.
really
Let's do
scan
more."
you. Yeah.
But to be clear, Carl wasn't he wasn't a medical doctor, but he often presented himself to everybody who he was highly educated and he came across as truthful and real, but it wasn't the case. So at the hospital, he mostly worked on diagnosing tuberculosis patients because it was rampant right then. It was killing people all around the US like crazy, especially in humid areas like the Keys, which I didn't really realize. I guess I always heard about people coming to Colorado,
Yeah.
to get their lungs better, but I didn't realize that made it worse. So, I had to look up what tuberculosis is. It's a bacteria, so that's why now
Yeah,
it can
don't
be
people
kinda
co d
treated.
don't people come he well, no, you don't come here because it's hard to breathe.
Well, they did, like the Stanley Hotel? I think that was
Yeah.
because that guy had tuberculosis.
That's what I heard too,
Yeah.
but now that I'm thinking about it, what how would that make sense? We are not a medical show.
No.
We are
No.
talking about murder, so move on
True,
and
true,
ignore
moving
our
on.
ignorance. God.
So, I know. So Carl's work, it's not groundbreaking, obviously, but he's respected because he can tell people, "Yeah, you definitely are dying." But he grew more and more weird in his personal life. So, I don't know if he's good looking and charismatic, but somehow he got married. Um, and he had 2 daughters. But
Oh.
yeah, that's
Uh-oh.
what I
Oh,
thought too, like, "Oh, Lord."
no.
Don't worry, the daughters are fine. Daughters, I think.
Okay.
I don't know anything about his wife or daughters, but Carl's such a weirdo that it ends up failing, his marriage does, and he becomes more and more of a recluse. So he
Okay.
lives around alone, he's tinkering with strange inventions and medical equipment that he's making when he's not at work. I know. Doesn't it just make you think like Dr. Frankenstein kinda weird shit? So
Yeah,
his
it
work
really
colleagues,
does.
I mean, yeah, he's an
But
odd
good on him for
yeah,
passing for all this stuff. He must have been a master liar,
I
because
think
'cause you're
he really
saying
was.
his colleagues and no
Oh,
one picked up on the fact that he is not
no.
a doctor.
No, they're just like, "Sure, come work with us." He lives alone, he's tinkering with all these inventions and medical equipment. And his work colleagues and neighbors said, he's so smart. He's just really odd. Something is off about this dude. So,
My God.
in
Oh my God.
I know, it's ramping up. So, in 1930, he's working at the hospital. Carl meets a young Cuban American woman named Elena Milagro de Hoyos, I think. She
Did
goes,
you make that up?
"Yeah."
Okay.
No, it's Elena. We'll go
I
with
saw you
Elena.
digging. I saw you
It's
digging.
de Hoyos.
Okay.
So
That's her real name.
that's her real name, yeah.
Okay.
She's this beautiful, dark-haired woman, and he immediately is like, "That's the woman I've been having visions about all my life."
Oh, what a
Uh-huh.
creeper. But I
Yeah.
could see how some women would be like, "That's so romantic."
Yeah, but she wasn't. So she's she's like, no." She's 21, he's 54 at this point.
Oh,
So
okay,
I
yeah.
know.
Mm.
Unfortunately, Elena had come to the hospital with tuberculosis. So
Well, she came to the right guy.
and he's infatuated, so it's incurable at the time. They had no antibacterial. They didn't realize, I think, that it was bacterial at the time. So now he's found his soulmate. He can't let her go. She's about to die, but he's like, "No, I'm an inventor. I'm gonna find a way to save this woman." Mind you, like I said, she has no romantic interest in him, but she wants to live, so
But I feel like I would yeah, I'd play the part. I'd be like, "Yeah,
yeah.
baby, you saved me. We'll be together forever."
Do what you gotta do. I know you're a magician. Oh,
Yeah.
boy. Yeah, so in his fever to save Elena, Carl goes to work in his home workstation, and he's working as quickly as he can to find a cure for her. So he comes up with all these strange treatments, like, X-rays with electrical currents that he believed could regenerate tissue. I don't know if the tissues in your lungs start to tear away, I don't know, but yeah.
Not to break in, but, like, it seems like this guy is pretty smart. Like, I mean, he could why didn't he just become a real doctor instead of a fake
Right.
doctor? You
He
know? I
thought he was
mean
smarter. He was one of those people that's, I think, probably a narcissist. It's like, "I'm so smart. I could do better than these doctors. They don't know
oh,
what they're
okay.
talking about." Yeah.
You're right. I keep forgetting he's an asshole. Go ahead.
He's an asshole. Yeah, so he makes up these chemical mixtures too and elixirs that he has her drink, all these
Ooh, again! I'm
again.
going back to that, like, old-timey okay.
He's oh god, okay, that made me think of merkins. Do you know what a merkin is?
Oh, isn't that a fake puebe?
Yeah.
Like a merkin? It's like fake pubes, right? Like a
Yeah,
wig.
yes.
That's
That makes
so
me
weird.
that makes me think of the merkin dealers at the same time. They would sell it to prostitutes who had to shave because of lice and
What? I
things.
didn't know that. Kelly, you're
Mhm.
so full of 1800s pubic
I love
hair info.
I am so into 1800s vaginas. It's
You
im
are! Calm down, okay.
I'm calming down. Okay, I'll get back to the
Okay, so this
story.
guy's a complete gross guy. He's in his
Yeah,
50s. He pretends to be a doctor. Clear he gets hired. He's doing pretty
he's
well.
doing okay.
A 21-year-old hottie comes in. She's really sick, and he's like, "I'm gonna save her because 'cause I'm
I'm
in
gonna
love."
save your
She
fucking
has
life.
no interest in him, so
No,
continue on.
no. Alright, so he's believing his methods are cutting edge, and they for sure will work. So, for some strange reason, though, his experiments fail, and Elena dies in October of 1931. Yeah, so it didn't
Oh,
work.
she had to pretend to like those old balls for a while. It didn't even pay off.
Oh, I hope she didn't have to hopefully she was sick enough she didn't have to do anything physical
Yeah.
with this guy. So, Carl's heartbroken. Her family cannot afford a funeral. So, Carl's like, "You know what? It's okay, I got you. I'm gonna pay for it. But if I pay for it, it's gotta be an above ground mausoleum." So,
What a
he gets
creep.
yeah, so he does that. Family thinks he's this generous, kind-hearted weirdo, but his reasons for wanting the tomb was for his own use. So,
No.
uh,
Would
Carl would
he
go to the
open it up?
mhm,
No.
every night. Every night he'd go to the tomb, spending hours with Elena's body. He's having these elaborate conversations with her, plays music, oh, does all these things. So this went on for 2 years after Elena
Does
dies.
he, like, sexually do stuff with her, or
I
does he
have a
just talk?
feeling I have a feeling he
Yeah.
did. I couldn't find any information on it. I'm sure at the time they didn't really report on that kind of stuff, but
Yeah.
so he's at the tomb. He's come for 2 years. He brings flowers, he plays music, and at this point, Carl begins to hear Elena's spirit speaking to him,
Yeah,
and
totally.
I mean, yeah, of course, she's probably like, "Get the fuck out and leave me alone so I can rest in
Yeah,
peace."
dude, this guy, I thought I was done with him. He
I
starts
thought I
showing up.
died and got him out of my life, but no.
So, this is a dumb question, but a mausoleum, so but he couldn't get to the body then if it's a mausoleum,
It
right?
was above ground, and I think he had a key to it, and I think
Wow,
it was just
okay.
her coffin sitting inside of there, and so he would just open the coffin
And
and
let's keep in mind that with a corpse with over 2
mhm.
years, that's gotta get nastier and nastier.
Yeah, even with embalming, it's still, there's decaying, but he has this conversation with Elena, and her spirit is begging him to take her home with him, begging,
Wait,
like,
wait,
"Please
wait,
get
say
me
that
out of here."
again.
Oh, did I cut out?
Yeah, a little
So
bit,
so Elena's spirit is begging him,
of
"Can I
course.
please come home with you? Just take me home. I don't wanna be in this tomb anymore, I wanna be home with you."
Oh
He's
my
like,
god.
"Sure, baby, I got you." So
And you're very light now, I could easily carry you to the car.
it's well,
Or
even better, he gets a kid's toy wagon, puts her in the toy wagon, rolls her home. So
stop, he put her in a kid's wagon and wheeled her body back to his house.
yeah, yeah, he must not live very far. So once he gets her home, he decides, "I gotta do whatever I got to preserve this body." So he uses all kinds of things, chemicals, like formaldehyde, he's using wax on her skin, plaster,
Oh.
cloth, anything to keep her body intact. And so when a part of her would kind of fall off or decay too, I'm sorry, it's not funny, but it's kind of
It's okay to
a
laugh
little
because it's
juicy.
incredibly weird, yeah,
It's
and
really weird.
uncomfortable. Go ahead.
It is. So he would replace these parts that would fall off. Like, he used coat hangers and wires to tie her skeleton together.
Stop.
I don't know how he did, like, if she still had skin on her, like, how are you
But
ugh,
he's a
I
doctor, damn
he's
it, he
oh, yeah,
knows,
you're right.
like, how to
You're right.
operate.
You're right, I forget that part, yes. So, he replaced her eyes with glass ones that matched her real ones so that she could look at him with love in her eyes, and then for her skin
She
and
didn't look at him
tissues
like she used to, so he had to go out and buy something that was a little more sensual.
Going to hell, the worst place in the world.
put
This
some
is
lashes
fucked up that we're
on.
laughing. Keep going, though.
It's so gross. So for her skin and tissues, he would melt wax and plaster all over her decaying skin. Kinda it makes me think of Madame Tussauds wax museums.
Yeah, or like that
Ooh.
shitty movie called House of Wax starring
Oh,
Paris Hilton.
yeah, I never watched it. Did you see it?
No,
Of
that'd
course
be
you did.
lame. Yeah, twice.
I've got it on replay. Oh, yeah, so he's constantly having to refresh this wax as it decays away, in new layers as the decomposition gets worse and worse, so and for her hair, he would save all her hair as it fell out, and he made her a wig from her own hair. I mean, this guy is dedicated.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. This might be true love.
Yeah.
You disgust me.
I'm
Yeah.
just kidding. This is
Obsession.
psychosis.
You're
So he made
absolutely
he
right.
wait, he made a new wig out of the hair that already fell out?
Mhm. I don't know if he,
Wow.
like, sewed it all together. It had to be a lot of work, but yep, made her a new wig. Yes,
And I mean, speaking of Ed Gein, who
uh,
ended up being like the, what am I thinking here? He ended up being the, for Leatherface.
yes.
Like,
Keeping
they
snakeskins.
came up with the
Mhm.
character Leatherface based on him, and this seems like this he was the
Mhm.
Ed Gein of the
Yeah,
1800s,
1800s.
right?
Yeah, so
Okay.
fucking creepy. Although he just wanted one person. He didn't want their skins, he just wanted her as a person, you know?
Do
But,
you
you know
wanna
he
I
oh,
don't wanna
go
say
ahead.
it's romantic because it's not, it's
I
so
know it's
fucked
not.
up, but in a way, I'm kinda like, oh.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
like, nobody loves someone this much. I don't know, maybe your kids, but I still probably wouldn't keep their bodies, like,
No, yeah, I
around.
would just let him. It would
It's
that
like peop
yeah.
yeah, it's like people who stuff their dogs. Like,
Yeah,
how
what is
sad.
that?
I mean, it's possibly
I
another
don't get it.
psychosis.
Yeah, I don't get it.
I don't either. So, he's making all these elixirs and potions because he's also elixir guy, tonic guy,
Yeah,
whatever he is.
sure.
He's trying to mask the bad smells. So, he's convinced he can resurrect Elena. So, he
No,
begins
he
making devices he's sure that's gonna work. So, it's so Frankenstein-y. He creates this electrostatic device that he claims would, use electric currents and electromagnetics to bring the body back to life, but it didn't work. Don't know why. I mean, it
No.
sounds so let me just use your decayed heart and see if I
Huh?
can pump it back up again. Come on.
Yeah.
This might have been the best thing he created. So he creates an airplane.
To
He
throw
starts
her out
building
of? To throw her out of?
kind of. He calls it an airship or the airplane coffin. And he has the idea that if he flies Elena high enough into the stratosphere, that the cosmic energy or radiation from the universe would snap
Oh.
her out of her dead state. Yeah, he is on another level.
And
On
what's
another
so
level.
sad also is that this family is probably going to the mausoleum. They don't know
Yeah.
she's not there because no
Mm-mm.
one goes in and cracks open. So
No.
let's see how we're doing now.
Right.
I mean, like,
Let's
so
see how
they're
we're
probably going to
doing.
visit her and she's not
Yeah.
even
And
there
she's
because
not
he's
even there.
got her in an airplane.
Oh, so bad. Well, shockingly, Carl never got the plane to work, so he couldn't even test it out.
Well, and that was my next question. Is he a pilot now or
Yeah,
did
he's
he
everything.
surely okay.
No,
Weird.
but
This
by
is so weird.
I know it's so bad, but by this time, it has been 7 years that he's lived with this
7
corpse.
years?
7
That at
years.
what point do you just become bones? I don't know much about the decaying process, but what's
Uh,
left after 7 years?
I think he's kinda mummifying her in a way.
Oh,
So,
okay.
people in Key West start spreading this rumor that somebody had seen Carl dancing with what looked like a life-size doll in the windows of his house.
I mean, if he wasn't psychotic, he kinda sounds really romantic, but he's psychotic, but so he
It
picks her up
it
and
could
dates.
make Yeah,
God,
it could make a great movie. I
this is
see
gonna
it.
blasphemy.
Oh, it's gotta be like a Johnny Depp movie or something.
So
Oof.
it's in the 1800s in Florida, and people are starting to say in these weird rumors that he's dancing with this
This
whatever it is.
life-size doll, and people he still talks incessantly about Elena. So people are like, "You know, maybe could it be that he actually has her body?"
See, I still
And
don't think I'd jump to it. I'd be like,
I know,
"Damn, let her go. It's
I
been
know.
7 years."
No, let it go. But eventually the rumor gets to Elena's family, and
Ooh,
yeah, and Elena's sister, her name's Florinda Medina, but she went by, Nana.
okay.
She starts getting wind of him, and she comes down, she's like, "I'm gonna confront that little dick about this." So she confronts him, and Carl, instead of denying, he's, like, so proud of what he's done, he's like, "Yes! Oh my god, wait until you see her, she's amazing, she's beautiful, girl, wonderful." Holy
You're
fuck, he's
welcome.
yeah. Have you done this for her? No, but I did. He finds nothing wrong with
Yeah.
what he's doing. He's motivated by love. This must be I am doing the most romantic thing ever, like you said. He's honoring Elena's wishes. So, yeah.
Wow.
Nana, she's like, "Okay, well, I'm gonna come to your home." She goes to his house, sees what sh at first she thinks it's a doll or a mannequin, and she's like, "Oh, he's just fucking with me." But
Or
then,
he's just weird and he has a
uh
life-size doll. Okay.
mhm,
Oh,
yeah.
no. It's her sister.
And she's like, "It loosely resembles her." So she starts to look closer and she's like, "Oh my god, it's actually Elena's mummified fucking corpse." Horrifying,
Horrifying.
horrifying. So she's like,
And
I'm
he's
good.
proud of it,
He's
right?
so proud of all the work he's done. He's like, I am trying
Okay.
everything to bring her back. Don't give up on me. I'm gonna get her back.
I learned how to
Oh,
fly a plane and push her out. Calm down.
don't get upset with me. You're just jealous. You didn't think
Oh
of it.
god. What have you been doing?
Yeah, you haven't done
Okay,
shit
go
for.
ahead.
So she immediately.
We are talking so ill of the dead.
I
Keep
know.
going.
I know. Well, by now it's the 1930s and, they're in World War II, so by this time they're like, "Well, it's fine." So Carl I is arrested. Elena goes
Yeah.
and tells the cops. Forensics teams, which I didn't even know they had back then, they confirm, "Yeah, that's Elena. That's a real body." And they're just shocked by the measures he took to keep her from decaying. They've never seen anything like it. So the community, like you, they've kind of got a mix of sympathy and fascination and disgust, but they're a lot are sympathizing, like, oh, this poor man. He is so in love that he is
Stop it.
uh-huh. Yeah. That's
People
why
are
it was like,
sympathizing?
yeah, it's just a mix of, well, some people, and some are like, this man is disgusting. He needs to rot in jail. And others are like, this is just fucking wild and I want to know more. It's a drama. So they feel bad for the guy who loves someone so much that he would go to these lengths. But it's pretty obvious in our current world, it's probably a mental disorder. It's
Yeah. No, this
a
isn't
bad
love.
one. So Carl's charged with grave robbery and desecration of a body, but the statute
Ugh.
of limitations had expired and he couldn't be convicted. I
Stop.
know. I know.
What, they let him go?
Yeah, after all of the shit he did with that body. I just can't imagine what he did with her when he was at home.
Yeah, because
Yikes.
he was getting it on with the
Mhm.
dead lady, and that's why he was
Oh,
probably trying to reserve her,
right.
or
Oh, how
preserve her
how do you
body.
preserve that part? Throw some wax in there? Turn her upside down and oh, it's like making candles.
You, God, you're such a bad person.
If you know how to use the wax, you see, I can't go here.
Oh!
She's
Oh
dead.
my.
Listen to
Oh,
us.
we're so gross. I'm sorry. This is why I get hate
This
mail.
isn't a sex
Um
episode. This is a murder episode. Keep going.
Kind of. So Elena's body's reburied, but this time they're like, we're gonna hide this fucking body so Carl can't find it. They have to put her in an unmarked grave in an undisclosed location so that he wouldn't go retrieve her body.
So I wonder how he reacted to that. I mean, the guy has spent multiple years taking
I
care
know.
of this
I know.
mummified corpse. Like, did he go mad?
That's what I want, and I couldn't find anything after the fact. I don't know if he just returned to solitude and tried to live his life alone,
Gave up
but
his job in medicine?
yeah, maybe he could have found another Elena had he stuck with it, but no.
He got away with
He got
it?
away with it, and that poor family to know that what he'd been doing to her body that whole time,
Yeah.
probably, likely. I mean, nobody knows for sure, but I would assume it wasn't good. It wasn't
That's the
good.
most messed up story.
Yes. So I'm
You picked a
sorry.
good one for Murder Monday. You really did, because I am disturbed on so many
Yeah.
levels,
Yeah, you'll
and
have good dreams.
I feel like I mean, I feel like I'm shocked there wasn't, like, a vigilante where someone from the
Oh,
family just killed the
goes
guy,
and
like,
lynches him. I know.
yeah,
I know.
kills him.
Ugh.
Mm.
Yeah, we'll s I need to know more about it. It was funny because I was telling my family about it last night, and, of course, one of my sons like, "Oh, I saw this story on YouTube on something." I'm like, "Dude, you're 17, maybe you should be watching Happy Little Things." I don't know, but
I don't know. Murphy recently had a friend over, and she showed on the iPad. Somehow she got onto the YouTube, and she found a video of the little, saw guy that rides the tricycle.
yes. Oh my god, she was
And she showed the kid, and the mom called me because for 3 days, the kid didn't sleep, and I had no idea.
Oh, no!
I know.
Shit.
Yeah, it was a
Oops.
mess. It was
She sounds like me, I would do that.
I know, and I'm thinking to myself, "Oh god,
Oh, I'm sorry.
such a good parent."
There's so
Um,
many worse things,
that's
just gotta say.
insane.
Yeah. So that is the story, yeah, of Karl Tanzler. Yeah, I don't know, maybe it's because he was German. Just kidding. I shouldn't even go there.
I'm German. How dare
Well, that's
you?
why I was like, "Sadie's gotta be German. You look so German with your mustache." But
You know what? It's the camera. That's a shadow.
Oh, it's a shadow.
You know I wax that shit because I'm German. I also have to wax my feet. It's a mess. Being German is not as beautiful and glamorous as it's made out to be.
With all the sausages.
Yeah,
Oh, so yeah, Oktoberfest is coming.
it
So that means
is.
like
That's my
sausage
time.
catching contests. That's my time. These are my people.
These are my people. That's my time to come
Pop out
out.
the lederhosen. All right.
Yeah. Kelly,
Cool.
thank you so much for coming on for today's edition of Murder Monday with ODFM. Again, you need to subscribe to her. This podcast is so good. And it's all about different kinds of crazy murders and weird things like this. And for some people, that might be troubling. So Monday might not be your day to listen.
Yeah.
But I think for the majority of people, these stories are just
It's fascinating.
but
And
like in a sick way, but
it
we're sick
is.
people,
We are
so
sick people. And if you are listening to Sadie, then I know you can listen to
you
us.
are definitely sick.
I know, dude. It's bad. I need
Kelly,
help.
next week, I want you to tell the story of the 2 friends that went camping and they met the straight I text you
Yes,
about it,
you
and they
did.
met
That's a good one. Okay.
that's a good one. Can we do
I
that
will
next
tell you that one.
Monday?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes, I will tell
perfect.
you that one. Oof, so
All
good.
right.
All right.
Thank you
Thank you
so
so
much for
much.
listening. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode of Sadie Has No Friends. Be sure to check out the YouTube page, social media, and be sure to put it on automatic download. Put Sadie Has No Friends and ODFM on automatic download so that way every day you don't even have to be reminded. It just pops up
Just is
and you could
there.
be incredibly disturbed. Doesn't that sound good?
Like us.
That's
Yes.
right. Thanks for joining us. Or me. Thanks for joining me, Kelly.
I am happy to
God.
join you anytime.
Thank God. How freaky was that episode with my friend Kelly from ODFM podcast? It's so trippy. If you want to revisit, maybe you just listened and you didn't watch, you could go onto the YouTube page and you could watch full episodes with pictures. I know this case had a lot of pictures, and so I apologize. Maybe you just want to listen and that's as far as your threshold will go. But if you want to take it a little more into the morbid side, you can check that out as well. I'm going to end today by thanking Garage Door Service and Sales. Such wonderful people, such amazing sponsors. And it just blows me away how long they have been in business. Okay. Over 7 decades. Over 7 decades. They've been in business in the community, taking care of people and making sure you get exactly what you want, whether that's a brand new garage door, something to change up the look of your home, or maybe you just got something fixed. You need like a spring, you need something fixed in and out. That's okay if you're not handy. I'm not handy either. Call the experts, Garage Door Service and Sales. And when you're on the phone with them, telling them about that weird spring, maybe you should say, "Hey, I heard about you on Sadie's podcast. I think that would get me some brownie points." Or not, whatever.